I have about 30 seconds, so if you haven't already done so, tell us where you're calling in from and your name.
Becca Dukes calling in from San Diego, California.
Ruth Ellen Sanchez calling or zooming in from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia.
Wow.
Fantastic. So I just want to let you know here tonight, we're going to do some like a 10-10-10. We're going to do about 10 minutes of testimonials, 10 minutes of what is this, and 10 minutes of business strategy. So that, as practitioners and salon owners, you have an idea, not only how to use this, I know many of you are, but as we listen to others, we're going to get ideas on how we can use this. And I'm just very excited. If you haven't already, send out those last minute texts, get all your friends, your colleagues, your wellness or salon owners listening in, or be sure to ask for the recording. This may be something that will inspire them. And I am going to turn this over. I'm just the greeter here today. I want to just introduce to you Dr. Mark and his lovely wife, Michelle. They have been in the wellness industry for over 30 years, specifically chiropractic, and Dr. Mark's also a functional nutritionist. Recently, they added Terahertz to their practice, and I got to tell you, they have had some absolutely marvelous results with their clients and themselves as well. And tonight, they're actually going to share some clinical pearls, and hopefully, not only are we going to gain from them, but they want to ask us some questions as well. So, Dr. Mark, Michelle, I'm going to have you take it away.
Well, thank you, Yvonne, and thank you for doing this tonight too.
Absolutely.
Well, and I have to thank Yvonne, because if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be on this call. We wouldn't have been experiencing the results that we've had so far. And so I'm just very thankful that you clued us into this crazy frequency device.
And I like how she did it too.
Yeah, I don't know. Has anybody seen the picture of Yvonne's neck? The before and after picture. You can unmute yourself or use a little emoji or icon about raising your hand if you've seen Yvonne's
There's
before.
art there.
Okay, Becca has.
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Good.
Yeah, so it was her before, and we had just had dinner together, and she was telling me about this great scalar device, blah, 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 and she all this technical stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's great. And then she shows me this picture of her neck on her phone, this incredibly stunning before and after picture. And maybe I'll show that towards the end. But I said, I don't know what it is or what you're doing or how much it costs, but I want that. And yeah, I know that's very vain. I don't care how, what diseases or whatever, any other things that's going to happen. But if that can make my neck look half as good as yours, I want in. So that was our illustrious beginning in all of this.
Yeah, Michelle just turns to me. She goes, I want one of those.
I want one. I have no idea. I was very happy with the sticker price, because we have spent way more than that. I'm sure you guys have on different clinical devices and tools and gadgets. So anyway, so moving right along, one thing I want to just kind of tease you with at the end of this brief Zoom, I'm going to share about a 30-second reel that I put together. It's on our YouTube channel, and it's something that I had a personal experience with that I want to share with you. Something kind of unusual happened, and I was able to capture it in some before during and after pictures. So I can share that 30-second reel if you hang on all the way to the end.
Some good objective findings here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I guess like Yvonne talked about our format, we're going to do 10 minutes of testimonials, 10 minutes of talking about the product, and then 10 talk about things that have worked for us, and hopefully you all can share things that have worked for you. And we can just kind of make this great mastermind of sharing information. So if somebody has a testimonial that they would like to share, please unmute yourself and please share with the group.
Okay, Raquel.
Yes, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you're not speaking, if you could mute yourself just to give us a nice clean recording so that there's no sudden noise in the background, that'd be great.
Hi, everybody. My name is Raquel. Thank you for inviting me to this practitioner spa salon owner Zoom call. I got introduced to this high frequency Terahertz device about, back in the end of October. I'm a hairstylist of 30 years. I've been in the business and have known about high frequency devices. I was one of the rare stylists that used one for many years, and mine broke. So I was on the lookout for something new and found out about this. I have had been dealing with at the time with major tendonitis on my left elbow, front and back. And after wanding for 2 days consecutively, it was 50% better. And I would say that the pain was about a 10 out of 10. My clients were blow drying their own hair. Fast forward, I stopped using it after about 5 days because I was so excited. And I started back in doing the treatments, the sessions, and full protocol this time. The first time I did it partially, so I was amazed with the results. And now I'm at 90 to 100% on some days. And this isn't, I want to share other stories if I can real quick. I have one, this is not just for veterinarians to hear, but for everyone who is loving animals. So my sister had me over and I wanded her dog's tumor or bump. It was pretty significant, and it was looked at by a vet. They were drawing blood out of it and they wanted to remove it because they were labeling it something pretty serious.
Mhm.
So I wanted the dog's tumor or bump, and it ended up shrinking almost by half within 5 days. The second session my sister did, and the third session my sister did, and the last session my sister did was the third session, and it progressively got smaller and smaller until it completely went away. So she did follow up with the vet. It is not there.
Wow.
And that is another story. If anybody's interested in hearing more about that, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help anybody. And my most recent pretty extreme testimony is from a client of mine who was on the fence, was on a fixed income, and couldn't afford to buy herself the device, but she has had the skin rash all over her body, but the most problematic area was her legs. So I decided to do wanded water with a wet washcloth and hand towels, and did compresses while I was doing her treatment on her whole body for the first session. We did the normal, I'd probably say 2 to 3 minutes on each body part of the protocol with the washcloths compressed, and had her drinking the wanded water for 48 hours. By the second appointment, her skin had improved. And after the second appointment, we were going on to have a third appointment. Her rash was tremendously better. She's now had 3 treatments. Between treatment 2 and treatment 3, there was a 3-week span. By the end of the 3 weeks, the skin rash was almost completely gone. So I'm excited to see her. I will be doing a 4th treatment coming soon. I see her tomorrow, and I'm pretty much 99.9% positive it's going to be gone.
Nice.
Great. That's
Wow.
great. Good job.
That's so cool.
Very good.
And I have
Yes.
before and after pictures for that.
Oh, that's great.
Good. That always helps.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah,
All
maybe we
right.
can do one of these, Michelle, where we can just share some of these, pictures.
Mm. Yeah.
I can't see if there's any hands raised, but
Anybody else?
anybody else want to share something that, results that you have had, staying in compliance? Dr.
Joe?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Yes, today it's an interesting story. My assistant brought her dog in, and I treat dog. I'm a chiropractor, by the way, and I treat dogs from time to time. And she had been using my classic unit at home. She took it home and was using it with her and her husband and her dogs. And I needed it. A patient needed to use it, so I have them using it. And so she called tonight. She says, you know what? We've noticed that since we haven't had the wand, how much better or how much worse we're feeling. And it seems like even our dogs seem like they're having more problems. So we want to buy one for ourselves now. So I thought that was really cool just to hear that kind of a story. If you hadn't used one, I think that's what a lot of people will find out, that they use it and they go, I don't know if I just have a placebo effect, but I've seen it with dogs. I have a lady that she has a whole bunch of dogs and she bought a unit and she is using it every day on her dogs, and it really is helping her dogs. So that's my story.
And if anybody else, I'll pop in just since we're on animals right now. Should you use this with your animals, always be sure to protect the device. I had a lady, and I've heard others, this has occurred. The animals really like it. One in particular kept licking the device, wanting her to, use the device on her. Well, she wasn't paying attention. She left for work. The device was plugged in. Anyway, the device was set out. I don't know if it was plugged in, but the dog actually ended up chewing it and like chewing the cord. So they really do want that device back on them. So that unit, and it's just wonderful to see and hear some of these stories.
Oh, if you could mute yourself, if you're not speaking. I think we've got time for one more testimonial. If somebody would like to share something from their personal experience or a patient or client that they've had recently.
Okay, I'll talk again. Don't all talk at one time, guys. I know everybody has a miracle story. That's why you're on this call, or maybe you've been invited to this call. I'm really new at this. I've, like I said, been doing hair for 30 years, but this iTeraCare high frequency device is a new thing. I'm so excited about it. I have one that I set out, and we could talk about that later for from the business perspective of it. But just last week, I had my painter of the salon come in, and he was having some pain issues with his knees, and at this point of his pain, and I would say it was a 10 out of 10. He was having to crawl up the wall after painting the baseboards or the bottom of the wall. I said, "Hey, can you come in here? Let me show you." It was real quick. Yes. We did the protocol on him, ended with his knees where his 10 out of 10 pain was. And I left for a second because this protocol, if everyone on this call doesn't know the steps, there is a step that you do lymphatic drainage, and that's in your groin area. And so I took off for that part to do laundry. And so when I came back, I opened my door and he is lifting his knees up in the air. And he had not been able to do that in over 3 weeks. And I didn't know what was happening, but I said, "What's going on? Why are you dancing?" And he goes, "Well, look at my knees." And I have pictures for that too. But I wanted to just show you, and he did get the wand that night. I wanted to show you a picture before and after, and I just lost it. So I might have to have you go to somebody else right now.
Well, and I'm going to ask Michelle, could you take 30 seconds and just tell us about your eyes? I think that is so significant that you can't negate this.
So we got go ahead, Raquel, go ahead.
And you can post this too.
Let's see. So, okay,
Before,
so there's this
after.
before.
Can you spotlight? If you spotlight her, then everybody can see it well.
Let's
Please.
see.
Thank you, Ruth Ann.
Mm, mm, mm. Let's see.
Whoever's talking would be spotlighted.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, the before and after, you can see it.
Oh,
Oop.
well, I guess we're going to turn that off. Yeah.
You like that?
Click spotlight for everybody on her image, and then we'll be able to see it.
I got it. And now let's see the other side, Raquel. And wow, that's pretty significant on that rash. Thank you.
You're welcome. She's very excited, and we're working on other body parts now.
Wow, that's really incredible. Okay, I'm going back to gallery so I can see everybody. All right, well, so we promised 10 minutes of testimonials. You'll have to just save them up for next time. And if you haven't already marked your calendar for the first Tuesday, I know today's the second Tuesday of the month. We had a hiccup last week, but let's do it again on the first Tuesday of next month. If anybody has that date handy, we can kind of announce that. I don't have my calendar immediately in front of me, but we'll get there. So let's talk about the product. I just want to open it up to questions, maybe questions that your clients have asked a lot, or maybe questions that you have about, we like to call her Big Red or Wanda. I'm sure you guys have all kinds of nicknames as well. Magic blow wand. Any
Hi, this is
questions?
Lisa.
Oh, hi, Lisa.
So I'm missing an introduction here. When I talked with Michelle about this product, she mentioned it has 3 different functions. Are we going to get to an overview? Am I discussing a later version, or, you know, I'm a little unclear about what it is and what it does.
Oh, sure. I apologize, Lisa. I thought I had sent you some videos that had like a overview of what the blower does. It has terahertz technology. It has a heating element to it, which heat has a whole array of benefits. It has scalar, and the tip portion has a quartz crystal that helps amplify the terahertz technology, the frequency. And it can be used on, you know, for skin issues. Raquel was sharing a picture of some amazing before and after. Beauty issues like wrinkles and things like that, and also health issues. She was sharing about a dog that had a very large lump, and after a certain number of sessions, it basically just kind of melted away. And there's a whole bunch of, I can share a Facebook group with you of, you know, you could scroll for days on all the testimonials that people shared around the world. I'm guessing it's probably over 85,000 people, if not more at this point. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to talk about maybe other specific questions. I know, for instance, a lot of people at our office, they ask, you know, what setting is the best? There's 3 different settings. There's kind of a low, a medium, and high, basically, depending on which version you have. So,
well, and again, it's like, for me as a doctor, one of the things I try to let my patients know is that this is a frequency device that is at the same frequency as your cells in your body. So its main function is to decrease inflammation in the body, which is wonderful, because as a doctor, I mean, inflammation is the beginning of all disease, just so you know. So when people are like, what is this thing doing? It's just, because what I usually do with everybody when they come in and they're like, okay, what is this? I'll say, okay, this helps to normalize your frequency of the cells in your body. Doesn't matter where they are in the body. It helps to do that. Now, if they have an acute injury, we're going to put it on no heat. So it's blowing the highest setting like that, but there's no heat. So it doesn't cause any more inflammation. But at the same time, a lot of the ladies like the heat portion of it, especially during the fall, winter, and springtime when it's cooler, they like heat. But if they do have if they have an acute injury, I won't use that on them, but if they have something more chronic, which I see a lot more chronic problems, then I'll use the heat, and that works really well because you start taking down the inflammation. And I'll ask everybody beforehand, okay, we're going to go through the 10-step protocol, which Raquel, you know about that. It's like blowing the different areas and everything. Then they go to the specific area and do that for at least 5 minutes or more because you got to get some time in for it to do its job. And I always tell people, what's your pain level beforehand? And then what's it like afterwards? And again, it's like I've seen people like, usually a very common one is, hey, my pain is like a 5 because when somebody says 10, they're in the hospital. That's a 10. You are screaming out of pain, like you can't stand it. You're just like on the floor, writhing all over the place. Okay. So you got to know the pain scales too. So this person's having is like a 5. Okay. That's realistic from what I'm seeing. Do the protocol, and almost every single time it comes back 3, 2, or 1. So it's dropping their objective pain levels down. For me as a doctor, that's really important because again, I want to see some objective findings whenever I do something with a patient. So I'm making a change with them. So that's one of the reasons that I use it a lot because it has really helped me with most of my patients' chronic issues, very chronic things. Some acute, but I see a lot more chronic problems go away, like talking like prostatitis. Had one gentleman, 80 years old, he had really crazy vertigo. And we worked with Yvonne on this case too. She helped us with some microcurrent on this one. And that really decreased his amount of vertigo that he was having. But he never told me that he had really severe prostatitis. So he was so bad that they'd have to go to the hospital to get him catheterized because he couldn't go to the bathroom. So we told them about the Terahertz, device, Big Red, and he goes, whatever you guys do, I'll do it. I don't care because I trust you. So we got him one of these devices and he used it that night because he had an acute injury, episode again. Like he had going, but he's like, it's like 2:00 in the morning when this occurred. So he started doing 2 20-minute sessions with this. And at the end of those 2 20-minute sessions, he was able to urinate. Whereas before he could not. And he goes, yes, I don't have to go to the hospital. Okay. How many people love going to the emergency room? They don't. Okay. So this really has helped patients. And even his wife, who has arthritic hands, she started using that on her hands and her hands got better. And she's like the most critical, non-believing skeptic. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and she's like, okay, this stuff works. Okay. So it's that. So again, if you have these chronic patients with these kind of problems, make sure you're always checking what level of pain or, check their mobility or range of motion or some kind of objective thing so you can do before and after. Makes a huge thing. It's like like Raquel, when you're taking pictures, you're going to see like some pictures Michelle's going to show. That's really good because that's objective.
Mm-hmm.
There's the protocol right there.
Yep. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
I highly recommend use it.
Mm-hmm.
Just showing that because the gal had questions.
And I want to ask a quick question regarding, the unit. We get questions asking, is there, and you spoke a little bit about high, medium, or low. And I know we have a couple people on here that are nutritionists. About the ability of a scalar to increase or uptake the nutrients within the body is supposed to be higher. Can you talk anything about that, either one of you?
especially when you're doing the charged water, because with the linear molecules like that, it helps your body, makes it more like liquid and allows the water to flow better. So it helps absorb the minerals and nutrients better, so you can get that into the tissues easier. So that's one way I look at it with doing the water, because we always give everybody a glass at least of water before we do the treatment, and then we make sure we give them a glass afterwards. They want 2 of them before and after, but most people are like, you get 1 glass in them if you're lucky. But so get that in it before and then do one afterwards, and it really does help with, you know, a lot of things, not just the nutrition, but also helping people to detox and get a lot of the stuff out of them too. I don't know if anybody else has any comments on that.
Raquel, did you had your hand up?
Well, it was up from the last one, but I can talk on that. I am very familiar with structuring water units. There's other companies out there who sell them. I've been using them for many years. And I will say that the Terahertz device structuring the water is the most simple and seamless way. And it's been the best on my family system.
I don't know if it's I don't know if this is accurate, but I think in pictures, and I just try and find illustrations that are really simple and easy for patients to understand. So the analogy that I give patients when because you say structured water or charged water, they're like, huh? And so I tell them, well, imagine you just took a big bite of steak and you swallowed it whole. And they kind of make a face, and it's like, It's going to take your stomach a while. Eventually, it'll break it down into components that your body can, absorb and utilize, but it's going to take a bit. Well, imagine if you actually chewed that bite of food, it would make it a lot easier and faster for your body to absorb those nutrients. So kind of like if the water was all in a big lump or clump, structuring and blowing the frequency helps make it more, like Dr. LeMay said, linear and more easy for the body to absorb.
Yeah.
So, and patients seem to get that analogy.
That's a good one. I like that.
I just looked at the clock. Time flies when you're having fun. But I'll get with you, Lisa, for some more questions and answers, if that's okay, unless somebody else had a real burning, because then we can go into some areas that it's been working for us, and I'm hoping you all would share some things that it's working for you. Any other burning questions? All right. Well, let's go into some maybe best practices might be a good way to describe this. I can
start off with the one that we do with everybody.
Yeah. So in our office, whenever something new, like a new supplement or an event or whatever is new in our office, or just rotating things, I always have something out in our reception area. It's not big, but I'll find a flyer or something to put out there for people to see. Maybe they're sampling a supplement or things like that. So when we got Big Red, I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, I got to put this somewhere. So I'm like, there's 4 chairs in our reception area. And I'm like, okay, which is the one that people always want to sit in? So I plugged it in and I put the Big Red right there on the chair that everybody usually goes towards. And I put the binder that Raquel showed. We have a binder that has that protocol and some other things in it. And I put it right there. So people walk in, they say hi, and it's like, oh, have a seat for just a quick moment and we'll be right with you. So they walk over and they go to sit down in their favorite chair, and there's this weird hairdryer on their chair. And if I'm on the phone, they'll just pick it up and turn it on, which cracks me up. Because I would never do that. I would always ask first before turning things on. But anyway, so it would get a conversation started, which is what we want to do, right? We want something there to help get the conversation going, because the end goal is to help them. to help them with whatever issues that they're coming in with. So that's one thing that that we did. We actually also remodeled one of our rooms to turn it into a detox room. So we've got a TV that plays iTera videos on there, a nice couch like a futon. We've got Big Red, another Big Red in there, and we've got
BioLite.
the BioLite. It's called a foot massager, but it doesn't massage
That's
my
not a
feet.
massage your foot.
No,
It
no,
does
no.
not. Most of our patients call it the griddle
Yes. Oh my gosh.
because it warms your feet up.
Yeah. Let's see, by raise of hands, or you can just say, is anybody familiar with, and while you're raising your hand, I'm gonna see if I can share my screen really quick. Dr. Joe,
BioLite.
yeah, has heard of the BioLite. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go to, I think photos. This might be the spot. Oh,
Of course, there's the famous neck.
okay, well, here you go. There's Yvonne's neck before and after, the neck that launched 1,000 ships. All right, let's see if I can, do I scroll this way, this way?
No, looks like you're gonna have to go look.
Okay, because I put it in. Okay, here we go. Oh, all right, just real quick. Top one is before. Bottom one is after. And this was just a handful of sessions, right, Yvonne?
Yes, yeah, probably I'm guesstimating 5 or 6. I wasn't, I was working on my sinuses and, doing the lymphatic here in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just recognized how soft everything was. And I asked my husband, is my neck smoother? And he said, yes, it is. And just started kissing me all over.
All right, we'll stop right. That's right. We'll stop right there. So just a quick, so here's the BioLite, here's the couch, the binder, the Big Red, and we've got the TV right there. So it's a great little, and I turn the lights. We have a controller, we can dim it, and it's just a
Got a
really
little spa area.
Yeah, it's a really nice kind of spa area for patients to, oh yeah, you can see the lights that are line the ceiling, and yeah, it's just great. They can put their feet on there. It gets microcirculation. This one has PEMF. The blower does not have PEMF, but this one does. The blower has scalar. This one does not, but they both have the terahertz. So
can you use both on the same day, or what's the protocols there?
Well, typically with the patient like this right here, with one thing that you can't do with the BioLite is, again, if anybody has any type of implant, I'm talking like if they have like replaced their knees, replaced their hip, have like stents, cataract implants, things like that, you can't use that device with them because it sends a pulse electromagnetic frequency through the whole body for heating, and they do not recommend doing that. Now, people have said, what about like implants in your teeth and stuff like that? It doesn't seem like that has been much of an effect. But again, it's just like, if you want to be totally, thing, you could say, nope, can't do it. That's when you have to use the blower. Because like we had one person today in her office, she has stents in. And so we just had to use the blower with her, because when we do our detoxification programs with our patients for like nutrition, this is part of that program. So this helps with detoxification. So patients have really enjoyed it.
yeah,
I mean, they go like, wow, I like this. This really has helped me out. So that's where we've been able to, do a little bit more of, renting these devices to people, and then also just been able to let them purchase these devices for home use.
Well, actually, I was hoping Yvonne could talk a little bit.
Yes.
She is like the queen of rental programs.
Yes.
Yeah, this is where we stole the idea from, and it's been a slam dunk. Yvonne,
We
can you?
cased her. We didn't steal anything.
No, we copied and what's the steal is more
steal is what it's
duplicated,
says, but
duplicated.
share,
copy and
everything.
share. That's what I want to do
Copy
here.
and share everything. That's what it stands for. Case.
Yes.
Copy and share everything.
Copy and share, and of course, copying is one of the nicest compliments you can give someone, right?
Correct.
So yeah, we have been renting them in our clinic, and There's a couple different ways that others are doing it. Approximately 100. I've heard 100 a week to 150 a week. It's just a great way to introduce. Also has some revenue behind it. Some I've also heard, if you purchase, you get a portion of that back. So it's kind of, to me, it's a win-win. It's a, buy before you, try before you buy. So that one's been great for us. And I did want to tell you one other thing that we did in the clinic is we set up a membership. We have a number of units, devices, tools that people can use. So rather than have them come in for single sessions, we created this unattended station. And it's actually, it was kind of slow to start, but it's really picking up, and it includes the use of the terahertz. We have a infrared sauna. We have some other lights and probably about 6 or 8 things on this little circuit they can use or not use. Some of them are as simple as, if you guys remember those chi machines, kind of you lay down, because a large portion of our population really struggles to either stand on the vibe plate. But that chi machine has gotten a whole lot more use than I anticipated also. But the favorites are the terahertz wand. It really is. We have people that just come in for that and go, and they don't do anything else. But we have a membership of $60 a month, and I have and heard some have a little bit less and some a little bit more, probably based on, the clinic and what else is available. But again, another just great try before you buy. In regard to the rental, I'm guesstimating that out of 10 rentals, about 7, will eventually purchase. So people want to have this at home. And when they begin to understand what else it can do, it's been kind of a no-brainer for us, and I think possibly for others.
Yeah, we're close to 9, at least 9 out of 10 for our conversion from rentals to purchasing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they typically they try it out and they like it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nobody has not liked it or gotten results.
Right.
Yeah. Raquel.
Hi, guys. Well, I'm following Yvonne's model, and it has been the greatest advice. I had someone ask me, well, can I rent it? This is before Yvonne's model came about to me. And I said, well, I don't think so, but let me think about that. And then boom, Yvonne comes in. So I did. So now I have 2 rentals. I have one that I use here in the salon. I finished my blowouts with the iTeraCare device. I have it with an extension cord so people can come over under the dryer and they can work on themselves while they're waiting for me. I've now have been doing this for 6 to 8 weeks, and I have clients who come back, didn't bother to tell me that they had relief. Well, a lot of them are telling me they had a lot of relief because they're now purchasing, but didn't, some like one today, and was the first thing she wanted to do was grab the wand. So, people are getting results so quickly, but I have one out on rental right now. I have my rental that I took to the Bay Area, used on a ton of people when I was visiting family, and it didn't come home with me. So yes, we should not be selling our moneymaker, but sometimes we do have to do that. I am offering treatments on a sliding scale depending on people's fixed incomes. So that's, where the difference of price comes in. So I'm charging anywhere from $40 to $60 for a treatment in the salon. I'm also an esthetician, so I'll do those. I'll finish my facials with them. I'll be doing that all day tomorrow. And I will offer them a session there in person. And for rentals, I'm doing 150 for a week. And again, if it's someone who I just know can't afford 150 and I'm really wanting them to get their hands on this, save up for it, and I care about them, then I am willing to do a sliding scale. It's been great.
And
Awesome.
so, Raquel, that's really good that you're doing that, because I mean, sometimes you
idea.
have special cases
Mhm.
where, hardship cases like that. What I will do is we'll just gift them, a week's worth of the rental to try
Yeah.
for themselves
Yes.
like that. And they
Mhm.
greatly appreciate that, because
Mhm.
they get the relief. And when I tell them, it's like, you can use it on you can use it on as many other people as you want. Okay. And they do usually end up purchasing that unit, because they find that it's very well worth their time. And everybody needs a self-help kind of product at home they can use for a lot of different things. And this really fits the bill for that.
Yeah.
It sure does.
Yep. Absolutely. Anybody else like to share some tips or
Yeah.
tricks or hacks?
Things they've been doing that's been working.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm learning a lot from you guys. That's really good to know. I have given some of mine out to use, and I didn't know exactly how to charge for them. And so I had a patient of mine from church use the BioLite for a week. He has neuropathy, and he's tried everything, gone to other clinics and spent $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 at different clinics. And so he said he got relief. And I thought, okay, he's going to buy next week, when he comes in. He didn't, he did not, he's not bought one yet. So I don't know, maybe I need to send it home with him. And would you do that with a BioLite? Would you send one home?
No, we have not done that with the BioLite, because it's a little bit, the BioLites are a little more expensive.
Yeah, when
Okay.
you only have one.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Okay.
like, that's not something I'm renting out at this time. We're keeping it at our office, because it's
Yeah.
a
Mhm.
higher price, piece of equipment.
Yeah.
I would recommend just the blowers. The blowers are much more affordable. I mean, because you
Right.
have three different types. You have the
Mhm.
basic, you have the
Mhm.
intermediate one, the what do you call it, the premier, and then you have like the professional.
Mhm.
That gets
Mhm.
more expensive as you go up. But the
Mhm.
$400 ones right now, those are such a great way to just let people try things out.
Yeah.
And I really highly recommend that you charge something for that, because that way, they got some skin in the game, and they, at the same time too, if they really like it, which they will use it if they pay for it,
Mhm.
then they'll purchase it. Watch.
Yeah.
I would like to chime in. Yvonne had a great recommendation, and so that's what I have printed out, just waivers, so people will know exactly what it costs, that they're responsible for it. They have a deposit. There's a certain fee. If they extend that time, if the device is available, they can add on a day use fee for that. But the one thing I like about the idea of doing the iTeracare devices wands is they can we can replace the glass tube. So
Yes.
if you if they break it, they're going to mail you just this piece right here, and you're spending under $100 for that. But it is in the contract. If they drop it, I can charge them $400 for this.
Exactly.
Also, Dr. Joe, if you remember, I think you might know, Nurse Ian, we should probably, I was hoping he was going to be on here tonight. He rents the bio, lights out. And I was hoping he was going to be able to, kind of share how they're doing it, him and his wife.
Mhm.
So hopefully we can have them come on and give us some tips and tricks about what's working for them.
I definitely like to hear that one.
I would like to hear that too.
Yeah, because I don't want to say the numbers, but it was somewhere in the 30s
Wow.
that he sold like last year. So people
Wow.
really are liking not only the wand units,
Mm-hmm.
but also, these foot detoxers is really what
Mhm.
they are. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well,
Yeah, time.
time really has flown. I apologize. It's has gone longer, but it's been great hearing all these great stories from everyone. So I appreciate that. Oh, I was gonna share real quick that 30-second reel, if you all can hang on for a few more seconds, if that's okay.
Mhm.
and Michelle, this is about your a skin tag.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I'm just going to quickly say her eyesight, she used to wear glasses since she
Oh,
was 14 years old.
yes, yes. Okay. Well,
No, do the reel first.
nope, you'll have to come next month and I'll share that story with you.
Go ahead, Sharon. I'm
that's-
going to
It
stay.
was the wand.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so desktop, I think.
Ruth Ellen saying, share it.
Yeah. Well, let me
Don't make
get
us wait a
to,
month.
See if we can get this here first. Let's do that.
let's see, I think this is the one I want.
Yep,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, apologize. Let me get this up here a little bit. So this is just a short reel that I did. It's on our YouTube channel. Hopefully you can hear it. It's okay if you don't hear the music, but it goes by pretty quick. So I had the skin tag and you'll see with the text what happened and how quickly.
To see the road to believe, yeah. This is where I'm meant to be, I believe. And I feel the magic everywhere. It's all around us, it's in the air. And I see the magic that we can share.
Oops. And I don't need to hear it again. So I didn't know I'd have to. Okay, there we
There
go.
you go. Gotta love technology when it works and when it doesn't. Okay.
That's right. Okay. So yeah. So in roughly 30 days, this lumpy bump that I called it just kind of appeared, and I don't know, I didn't really pay attention. And then all of a sudden one day it dawned on me. I'm like, I wonder, because I'd seen so many other testimonials of things disappearing, and I thought, sure, why not? And after about 3 weeks, I'm like, nothing's happening. I'm gonna quit. And I thought, no, I better not quit
Give it 30 to
because
60 days.
yes, my husband's,
Duration.
yes. And so I'm like, okay, just do a little more. And then it started to lift up, almost like a wart, when you're treating it, kind of lifts up and
Starts to
pushes off.
separate from the skin.
Yeah, I did not put anything on it. I did not do anything else. It just, and we're talking 2 minutes. I tried to do it twice a day. Some days I didn't, sometimes I only did it once a day. But in about 30 some days, it completely just, and it's still gone. It's nice and smooth. So anyway, thought that was kind of cool.
Do you want to try your eye or do you want to save that?
Okay, all right. I know it's probably rude to not say anything. Yes. Okay, so
People don't like secrets.
yes, wearing glasses since 4th grade, contacts since I was 14. Last year I was 61. I won't tell you what I am right now. And I started blowing on my eyes, and my contact lens prescription expired. And so I had to go in and get my eyes checked again. And I wear monovision. So my left eye was for reading things up close, and my right eye is for distance. Okay. This was a -3, and this was a -2.5 or 2.0. Gosh, it's been so long. Anyway, blowing on my eyes, with the classic.
For how long?
And, what's that, Yvonne?
For how long?
Couple minutes, maybe. And then it was about a month went by and I realized my prescription expired, went in, and the optometrist said, your prescription's all messed up. I'm like, what do you mean it's messed up? I'm the one that can tell you whether I can see, number 1, number 2. It's like, what do you mean it's messed up? He goes, you don't need a lens in your left eye. I'm like, what? So I went from a -2 to nothing. So normal, I guess you could say. And then this went from a -3 to a -2.75. So maybe I was blowing a little longer on my left side. Now I need to blow a little bit more on my right. So anyway, that's because I had seen other testimonials of people with, improving their vision, and I know you have to be careful with your thoughts when you're blowing, because the quantum and the scalar and the terahertz, all of that crystal amplifies your thoughts. And I'm surprised it even worked, because I was thinking, well, sure, it might have worked for somebody else, but it's not going to work for me. I hate to say I was really thinking that, but yet, God said, don't worry, I'll take care of that for you. So, yeah. So that's gotten better.
Great stories. Love to hear that.
Yeah. So pretty amazing.
And that's been about 5 months now?
Let's see, we got it early September of last year.
Yeah.
So three, so
November,
about
December.
6, coming up on 7 months that we've had it.
Yeah.
And you've been without that other lens for how long?
About 6, about 5 months.
Wow. And you still, everything's G to G, good to go.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Good to go.
All right.
It's pretty cool only having one lens. Saves me 50% off my contact lenses, which are getting more expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anywho.
Well, I think it's time to wrap this up. Folks, thank you so much for being here. We're going to come back on Tuesday, May the 7th.
Thank
We
you.
might have a slight time change. I know that there's some of you in the East Coast, 1 or 2 couldn't make it. It was just a little past their 10 o'clock hour. So pay attention to the time if we're able to change it and accommodate a larger audience, and just, get more ideas. And you guys are doing things that we don't even think to do. Dr. Joe, I think you've been using this probably the longest. Maybe next month you can share a little more.
Okay.
And thank you so much for coming. Again, you can also see that reel on LeMay Chiropractic and Wellness. They have a YouTube. They also have an Instagram. And I think that's about a wrap. Michelle, anything else?
No, that's it.
Nope, that's all.
Looking forward to getting to hear more from you guys next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see if I can share a little bit more next time.
Oh,
that'd be great.
Okay.
Yay. Awesome.
Okay. Good.
Thank you so much for all the information.
You're very welcome.
You're very welcome.
That's what we want to do. We want to share some of the best practices. That's going to be helpful for all of us here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we want to do. We want to get a good community of sharing all these different good ideas.
Thank you so much, Raquel.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for inviting me, Yvonne. And I just want to be with like-minded people. I want to elevate our industry. And, I've already was specializing in organic choices. So just want to give people a different model that they can do our business as well.
Absolutely.
Have a good evening, guys.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. Have a good rest of your evening, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.